Hello everyone, I'm John Small. Justin Harris is a 6'8" senior on the Quinnipiac men's basketball team. He was a forward who averaged a double-double as a high school star. Harris knew he was headed to the next level, Division I, NCAA. All the Paterson, New Jersey native wanted was a chance to compete and an opportunity to play the game he loves. I sat down with him to discuss his experiences as a member of the Quinnipiac Bobcats. What do you do when opportunity presents itself? Some are given opportunity. Others must go out and make their own. Justin Harris left Paramus Catholic High School in New Jersey in pursuit of an opportunity. That opportunity was to play Division I basketball.
I knew it was going to be a different level, and I was excited and nervous at the same time, but I was ready for the chance to play.
So you're coming from high school. What was going through your mind now you're a freshman, you're fighting for minutes?
It was sort of the same similar situation going into my freshman year of high school. There was a senior-laden team, and I was a young big man, and I think I was more cocky coming into high school because I was playing on great teams, and I thought that my skill level was enough for me to play like varsity high school basketball. And then so by the time I humbled out, by the time I got to college, it was real different because I was behind a lot of good players that were here before me.
Harris found himself behind the likes of Jamie Jackson and Ike Azotam, and for his first 2 years played sparingly. Going into his junior year, Harris expected that he was going to get his opportunity. What wasn't expected was the emergence of freshman A.J. Sumbry.
It's definitely heart-wrenching when you know that coming into your junior year, it's like, all right, Ike and Us are the set two big men because Ike's first league all-player, and Usman's one of the all-time leading scorers, rebounders that come through the school. So it's like you understand that their spot's solidified because they've been producing since they walked in the door. So it was like confusing for me to be put behind a freshman in my junior year. So it was mixed feelings towards the coach and other things like that.
Put in perspective, how frustrating was it those 3 years?
It was extremely frustrating because coming from out of high school again, people in the Jersey area that watched basketball, they thought that I wasn't dedicated to the game. They didn't think that it meant that much to me just by watching me play in scouts like that. So my whole aspect of going into what I was doing was that I need to prove these people wrong, and I knew that I could produce at this level. But up to that point, I hadn't had any stats, hadn't done anything. I was averaging point-something point a game, barely playing. So obviously going back home and why aren't you playing, this and that, it's difficult to answer those questions.
Harris was going to make his opportunity in his senior year.
It's my senior year. I've been around the block for a long time, and I've done almost everything that I could to play. So I understand the ins and outs of what Coach Moore wanted, what the coaching staff wanted out of me, and I knew I had to accept that leadership role because we already had two freshmen coming in the for big men. So it was like I was propelled into that role with Ike leaving, and then there wasn't that second big man to go to really. So somebody had to take over the role, and I was more than confident that I was ready to do it, being a senior.
Once again, it was a new recruit that was given that opportunity. Opening night against Yale, do you feel like you should have started that game?
I had a chip on my shoulder when I realized that I wasn't starting coming out that game, that I needed to prove that this is my senior year and I'm 110% dedicated to the team. I'm willing to do whatever it takes for us to win games, and I'm willing to sacrifice to put up numbers and to produce to help us win games. And I think that him starting that first game, that kind of was like, all right, maybe I need to put a little more in practice to do a little more because this is my last go around. You don't get another chance, I can't come back. So it was like, it hurt, but I knew I had to do something to get that starting spot.
It was only a matter of time until number 22 got that starting spot. After solid performances in the first 2 games, Harris would go on to start Game 3 at Albany, and he would never let go. He would record a career high at Fairfield, scoring 23 points, and he would continue to be an integral part of the team, never relinquishing his starting spot for the rest of the year. What do you take away from these 4 years?
Just persistence. Coming from the situation that I was in, where I was literally in mothballs, sitting at the end of the bench every day, and it got to a point my first 3 years where I came to games knowing that I wasn't going to play, no matter what happened, no matter if somebody got in foul trouble, if somebody fouled out, or if we weren't blowing anybody out by 30 plus points, I wouldn't get into the game until the last couple of minutes. but then realizing that I wasn't satisfied with that. I wanted more out of my college experience, and I wanted to be able to, like, yeah, I played college basketball and I did well.
Do you have any regrets from the 4 years here at Quinnipiac?
Any regrets? I guess I could pinpoint times, maybe, saying that I could have went harder in practice, did this and that. So I guess my only regret was not playing sooner or not doing what it took to play sooner, because sitting around on the bench for 3 years is not fun, no matter what sport you're playing. So it's like, you gotta understand that these moments are short and you gotta cherish them, but you also gotta understand that you can't get too excited and enveloped in the emotions of everything, that you let it just zoom right by and you don't realize what's going on.
Harris is now searching for opportunities to play overseas and to continue to pursue the sport that he says means everything to him. For Bobcats Tonight, I'm John Small.